All right. We got Craig in here recording. All right, everybody, welcome to the NostraCity AMA with Cryptonairz. I'm Moses. As usual, nothing that we say during this AMA is financial advice. We're just interviewing a project, learning more about them, not telling you to buy or sell anything. So just keep that in mind as you listen. All right. Welcome. How you doing?
What's up? I'm gonna say I'm awesome now to make it real.
Yeah, it's on record. It's on record. Why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself?
Yeah, sure. So my name is Fabi. I am also known as the boss at NostraCity, and I come from an entrepreneurial background in education. And after having, some mild successes in that arena, I decided that I needed to do something with my time and resources that I had at the time. And I started to invest. So in investing, that actually became, the main thing that I do now. And so I'm officially now a professional investor slash speculator slash degen slash, entrepreneur still. I start things here and there. I was very present during the whole Home Forks season. In fact, I still own homeforks.com. So a lot of you guys, sorry if you bought something that didn't work out through us. It's really, it's sad. But I've been involved in DeFi since then, since the almost fork season. Started with crypto way back in 2011, but that's probably a story I don't want to tell because it's embarrassing how I made no money from Bitcoin whatsoever. And now with NostraCity, what I'm trying to do is thinking of what has made me money, right? Because if I do this for a living, I need to have some idea of how to do it, right? And it turns out that the only things that have really made a really nice return for me personally as a professional investor are when I got in really early in a really hot sector, or when I went against the grain and I invested in something that was completely hated and people didn't bet on it and I knew that the value was there. So really there are two ways of making money there. And you can argue there's others, there's trading. I don't know any traders that are rich by trading. I know traders that are rich because they sell trading programs. The way that I've chosen to build wealth is through doing those two things. And that's part of what we're doing at NostraCity. So maybe I can get into what NostraCity is.
Yeah, that's amazing. Great introduction. You're among family, degen investors.
That's it. Yeah, I know.
Just about all of us. Yeah. But go ahead, take it away and give us an overview of Nostra City and what it's all about.
No problem. Thank you. So NostraCity is really at the heart of this new generation of, oh, I guess you can call them yield protocols or node protocols or whatever you want to call it. But we are trying to answer the question, can we do this in a way that we become sustainable by the structure of how we do things? So under the hood, what we're doing is we're taking what really worked with Ohm and its forks, which was probably the craziest, easiest, fastest way to build up a really nice treasury, right? Through their bonding mechanism. So the way that these protocols have done that was absolutely massive. And we don't want to throw that away. The staking, you could argue that, was complicated. Prices have crashed due to many different reasons, but there are some projects out there that have absolutely insane treasuries, and they should do something with it, right? So the getting the treasury is awesome. We're not going to throw that away. We're going to take what we've learned from this DeFi experience, and we're going to keep it. Throw away what doesn't work, and then what we're doing is we're asking the question: okay, so with nodes, what makes them sustainable versus what makes them just a complete dud? And one thing that I think we're able to answer is that if we are able to build a treasury and have NFTs that essentially are yield bearing, but the tokens are, I guess, backed by the treasury, then we're kind of fixing the issue of what do you do with nodes and how do you make them sustainable? Well, our answer to that is making them sustainable by actually having external value add instead of making it a closed system where we're trying to trick people into buying and selling. And don't get me wrong, that's part of it. I absolutely accept that you have to always ask yourself, how are we going to make the token more attractive to people that want to buy today? But at the end of the day, if that's all you're focusing on, then you're really just shifting value, from user to user. And it's a player versus player kind of thing. And what we're trying to do is we're looking at the outside world and we're saying, okay, so our bet is that there are protocols out there. There are cryptocurrencies, coins, whatever, on-chain assets out there that will probably really, really, really appreciate and value whenever we get a real bull market, not this weird nonsense that we've been getting, this gray area. And by making those bets, we want to make sure that our token is worth something. So the token will be backed by the treasury, but the focus is the treasury is used to invest in insane protocols. So whether that be something contrarian, like right now, contrarian is Ohm, contrarian is Hector Finance, contrarian is Houses of Rome, right? That's really contrarian.
Hey guys, Crypto Sensei here. If you like what you're watching on this video, think about signing up for Cryptonairz. We've built out a 37-person team to work on Cryptonairz that provides every kind of info that you want to know. We have a great community of over 2,300 people that also help providing information. If you don't have 12 hours a day to commit to crypto research and knowledge, let us do most of the work for you. That's why we're here. We're one of the very few communities that have a full service security team. Every new project that wants to come work with us to do an AMA, we put them through a very strict process, and you can learn more about that in our community. We have people that understand smart contracts that can find, malicious code or errors. And so, often we're helping these teams kind of fix their projects before they launch. And so that really gives us the power to know which new projects are going to be solid and which ones might not be. And so we provide all of this information and all of this content to our community. We have some of the most amazing members, and we have a really solid team. So if you're interested in maybe joining, come over to cryptonairz.com, sign up today. Look forward to seeing you out there in the Discord and chatting with you and growing with you, and look forward to seeing you. Thank you.
That's phase one. So we do everything in seasons. That's season one. And then what we're going to do in the next few seasons is we're then going to ask the question, okay, so what's next? What can we do? What can we bet on that we believe is going to appreciate a lot, that is difficult to make the decision as an individual investor, but as a group, we might be able to make that decision better. And so it might be that we go for something like a security solution or a layer one solution. And eventually where we want to get to is actually get people to invest in stuff that they've never even heard of, because we have access to real life projects. I live in Portugal. It is absolutely insane the amount of people and companies that are coming to Portugal because of the obvious tax laws with crypto, and people are coming here building amazing businesses. And I can meet and shake hands with these founders before you ever hear about them. So this is something that we want to get into. We want to make the contrarian bets. We want to be able to also go for, run of the mill stuff that we believe is going to appreciate because of the usage. But then we also want to get to the really crazy stuff that we wouldn't have a chance to invest otherwise. So that's it under the hood. Sorry, that's a really long explanation. So that's it under the hood. And on the surface, it's a really fun competition because you go to our app and you look at our little city and you're like, okay, I can buy an NFT here. And that NFT is really a vote towards what investment that you think we should, put the treasury towards. So we're running season 1. Season 1 is 1 week old. It's supposed to last 3 weeks, so we only have 2 weeks left. And essentially what we're talking about is season 1 is a pre-sale. So if you've ever asked the question, how come I'm not an influencer? I don't get in early on projects. I'm always late and, poor me. Then this is it. We're offering 3 weeks of pre-sale to whoever wants to come, and put their vote towards what investment they think we should make. And by doing that, you're technically joining a family, and you can join all 3 families, right? So we have different families, and the families are gonna continue through the different seasons. So today we only have the ability to buy the NFTs from each family for season 1. But then what's gonna happen is for season 2, then we're gonna have the token launch. This is why I'm saying it's a pre-sale. So we're going to have the token launch, we're going to have the bonding mechanism, and we're going to have nodes as well. Nodes being, yield-bearing NFTs, put simply. And the way that's going to happen is for every NFT that you buy today, whatever you put in, at a minimum, you're going to get back in BOSS tokens that are going to be released for season 2. And then with those BOSS tokens, you're going to be able to get your yield-bearing NFTs, which are going to be backed and anchored, I guess, in a way, by the treasury. And there are a lot of questions about how that's going to work. Some of those questions are going to be answered by the community. This is going to be run like a real DAO. We're not just going to decide to randomly do things that affect everybody. But we will try to guide people and ask questions so that, we're asking the community what we should do in a way that makes sense for everybody, not just the people who got in really early, not just the team, and not just the guys that can move the price around, which, can be a real problem when you have whales in the project and they can manipulate things here and there. So yeah, the season 1, what I forgot to say, okay, what's in it for you if you are gonna get the tokens for season 2 with your NFTs? Okay, so there are a few different things. The winning family, meaning the family that is able to sell the most amount of NFTs inside of our city by simply spreading the word out and making sure that they buy more than the next guy, is going to get a 20% boost of the BOSS tokens in order to use that for nodes and such. So that's one benefit. The other thing is that you have to remember when we launch, you guys have seen launches, and so you probably know this better than anybody. Prices usually spike, and if you are in a hurry and if you have FOMO on day 1, you might actually get crushed. There's robots that are very difficult to fight off. They get smarter and smarter by the day. There are whales, and there are issues like that. So by joining now, by getting in now, it means that you don't have to fight those guys. So when we say, hey, the launch is going to be on this date and this is going to be the price, like that's it. That's the value that you're getting. You're not going to have to fight a crazy robot whale, to maybe buy it at double the price that's announced. And so that's another benefit. The other benefit is that with the NFT that you buy, you're going to be able to burn that and turn it into a PFP. Now, the PFP is going to allow you to win free nodes in draws that we're going to have, in future seasons as well. So there are many benefits to really getting in now. And we're just super excited because every time I go into the Discord, people are really taking on this whole mafia family theme, and we're having tons and tons of fun with it. So that's like the longest explanation I've ever given in my life, and I'm a teacher, so I apologize.
Hey, no, that's perfect. I mean, I think you have, honestly, I think for your project that was kind of succinct, right? So you explained
Yeah.
everything you need to know. So really what you're buying right now when you're buying this NFT is essentially it's going to be a pre-sale to get your yield-bearing NFT, and you're getting tokens as well.
Yes. Yeah. So
Okay.
you're getting the tokens, and with the tokens, you're gonna be able to buy the yield bearing NFTs.
Got it. Got it. Got it. Yeah. Okay. I mean, I think the concept is interesting. I mean, you're obviously like very well educated um on the way that these previous successful projects have worked. And a lot of people are trying to kind of piecemeal things together from like previous seasons, like you said, Home for season, Node season,
Mhm.
um, and merge those together into a project. So I think it sounds like you're in a really good position um to make a really good go at that and make it successful.
Yeah, I'm really excited for all the projects that are coming out in the next, well, coming out now or in the next couple of months, because they've seen what works and what doesn't. But node projects are really interesting because um, you're making a bet that your delaying of gratification of building up a node is going to pay off, right? And so you have to ask the question, okay, how is it going to pay off? Is it just because we're going to try to manipulate the price upwards? And how do we do that? And a lot of protocols rely on um, selling of the actual token in order to make that work. And I don't think that the math works out really. I'm not saying I'm good at math, but in order to actually get any value from the protocol, I think it needs to be almost external to it, right? Because like the real money in crypto, let's be honest, the real money in crypto is not in cash flowing assets. Like nodes even, they don't really yield. And I'm not talking about, what we call degen nodes, but actual network RPC endpoint nodes. They don't actually yield a massive amount, percentage APR, whatever you want to call it. So you got to ask yourself, okay, where's the money in crypto? The money in crypto is in buying low, selling high. Like that's it. That's it. And then if you try to deviate from that, you can still, do really well. But at the same time, we're trying to make the bet that makes the most sense. If that's what works, then let's buy low, sell high, and let's tie that up to a really cool sort of competition, and then let's make sure that we can get rewarded together.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Okay, so we have a question. So fudgeyourbags.eth. Nice. Go ahead and come on up. Okay, so oops, there we go.
All right.
Oh, hey guys, sorry, just figuring this out. Um,
No,
yeah, you guys mentioned that there's not going to be so much pressure on like the selling of the token. I wonder what kind of like mechanics you had in the project. That like is there a developer fee? Is there like any mechanics like tokenomics that would put sell pressure like through the project itself on the boss token or anything like that?
Yeah. So this is something that we've been thinking a lot because our thanks for your question, by the way. Our question has been, how can we make sure that, yes, okay, we have a good treasury that makes the right decisions and makes the right bets. The second question to that is, how do we make the token really valuable, right? How do you add utility? That is a much harder question, I think, than the treasury. The treasury is pretty straightforward because it's what I do, and so I get it. But with the token and with the sell pressure, this is what I think. So when you're buying a node, you're lending value to a protocol. You're saying, okay, I'm giving you these tokens, and I think that I'm going to get away with receiving more value, maybe longer term, because of that exchange. And the thing with that is that you got to ask yourself, what are they going to do with the tokens or with the protocol to make that value worth it? And we think that because we're filling the treasury with the bonding mechanism, yes, okay, that creates dilution. I accept that. However, the other thing is that there is a benefit to holding your yield bearing NFTs because they'll yield you the tokens. But then the other question that I want to answer is, I guess, what will you gain by holding the tokens? And I didn't want to get too much into it because I think it's something maybe for a later season. But we're studying how can we make it so that if you get the nodes, the yield-bearing NFTs, you get more of our tokens, of our boss tokens. But if you hold on to the boss tokens, can you get stables if you're part of the winning family? And I would tend to say, yeah, if you hold the token and your family wins, at a certain point, there's no reason why we can't do a payout in stables, or we can't do a payout in the token that actually won the competition, right? And so we're always going to have a chance at answering the question, how can we make the token more and more useful with every season? So every season should last about 3 weeks. And with every season, we're going to ask that question, and we're going to come up with a solution of, okay, right now, this is where the market's going. This is what people want to do. This is what, the community wants to do. Let's do that so that there's more utility to the token, so that people want to hold the token and not just dump it. And that's a massive issue because if everybody's rewards is the token, then yeah, there will be selling pressure. Absolutely. And this is a problem with all the node protocols. If you're paying out in a certain currency, and if you're paying everybody out in a certain currency, there will be selling pressure. The thing is, can you delay that selling pressure? And can we have mechanisms where we protect the price to the downside? I would tend to say yes, because the node projects today, if they come down in price like a lot, which some of them have, unfortunately, can they protect that price? But most of them can't, because their treasury is so small compared to their market cap that it's a drop in the ocean. Now, because we have the bonding mechanism and the sale of NFTs, then chances are we're going to be able to protect the price by buying up either nodes or actual tokens and burning them. So that is something that is actually an allocation that we've already made. We've already proposed, and it was approved, that 5% of the at least season one's treasury would be actually for buying and burning, should it come to that. Now, the other thing that you asked, I believe, was something regarding the team getting paid or something like that. Yeah, we're not going to pay ourselves in tokens, so to speak, on a monthly basis or on a seasonal basis, because everything that we do here is season by season. The way that we're doing it is we're going to take a piece of the treasury. So there's a 20% allocation for development reimbursements during season one, because that's the pre-sale essentially. 35% of the treasury will actually go for liquidity pool. 20% will be allocated to the actual winning investment. And then 5% for the buyback and burn mechanism. And the rest will be kept in stables to be added, to actually be left in the treasury for later seasons, etc. And just to keep things sort of balanced, because you don't want to invest all of your bets in one go, and it'll be too volatile. So going forward after season one, we're proposing a 10% treasury allocation to the team, and that's for everybody. So it's not for me. It's for everybody on the team. We're a team of 4. We're fully doxed. You can actually see our LinkedIn pages when you go to NostraCity.com, and that's for the current and future team, that 10% allocation. But we won't be selling tokens to get that value, by the way.
Well, thank you so much for that. Was a very in-depth, and it was a very good explanation. I really like the fact that there are things coming up constantly that will keep people engaged and interested, and that's obviously going to put more more pressure to the upside than down. So yeah, thank you so much for answering, especially about the any kind of developer tax or fees that was going on. Appreciate it. I'm really excited for the project.
Thank you very much. I appreciate your question. We're very smart. Yeah, I mean, we're considering doing sales. Sorry, I'm like almost 1 a.m. here, so I'm just like babbling. We're going to put on a selling tax for launch for sure. So I am not a massive fan of keeping a massive selling tax because I feel cheated when I buy into protocol and they say, hey, your payout is going to be 2% per day, but then there's a 50% tax. So it's really 1% per day. I mean, just, like be real. And so it's not that we won't do it. If we find that it's a good idea for the good of the protocol, we're going to come to the community, to all the 3 families, and say, guys, look at the price, look at the treasury, look at the value. Let's decide together. And so we're not going to take down the road of just, trying to mess with things in the way that gives us as a team the upper hand. We want to make sure that the people are involved so that everybody that holds a token, a node, or whatever else has a voice in. Because I think, people are pretty smart. People in DeFi are pretty smart. So there's no reason why, there's no reason why we should like not listen to what people have to say.
Yeah, I mean, thank you. That's an excellent answer. Did that answer your question, Fudd?
Absolutely. Thank you so much. I'm going to step down now. Really appreciate it. Again, you sound really intelligent. The project looks really good. And again, I'm really excited for it.